we're getting another chair, and Alan and Joan, the co-directors, co-conspirators, at the table, with some of our most beloved makers of all time.
I, I'm, I, I am always moved at the end there when he talks about what it means to be an artist. Gets me.
Every time.
Yeah.
Alan, what got you in this moment? Besides being here with these people?
This is a distillation of 10 years of shooting. And for a long time, we were trying to make a long film. And we decided for a number of reasons that it just wasn't working. We couldn't get enough in it. A lot of the stuff that we would put in it would not fly in the cancel culture that we live in now. And so we put this film together and actually sat on it for a while, and then started showing it around, and it just took off. So.
And COVID helped. COVID helped.
Yeah.
But also, we didn't think we had a film because Haskell did not want to be seen, followed around by a film crew. And also, he shut us down. All the really crucial moments that I thought we needed to, bring it all together, like Studs Terkel's memorial. Haskell let me shoot all the preparation. He was feverishly figuring out what he was going to be saying. And I assumed I would be going. And then it was at the last minute, he said, "No, you're not coming. I don't want a film crew. It'll be filmed." And I said, "Yeah, it'll be on a camera at the back of the room on sticks, and the sound will be terrible." And Haskell, whose hearing is terrible, said, "Well, subtitle it." But time and time and time again, we just got shut down, and so we ended up shooting all these conversations around at our home. When Haskell stopped being a Hollywood legend and started making documentaries, not that he hadn't done them earlier, he became really interested in meeting our friends. So we would just have we'd invite a lot of people around and bring Haskell, and there was a lot of passing around of the camera. And that was, it was very casual, believe you me. But it was the only way we could do it.
Well, can I just say bravo, both of you, for being willing to take, I don't think it's just 10 years. How many years have you known and worked with Haskell?
When I was about to shoot Punishment Park, he called me up out of the blue.
Yeah.
And told me about this brace that he had designed for the camera.
Yeah.
And also told us how it was a really low budget film, how to light it. And basically, you take a piece of plywood, you cut 9 holes in it, and you put photo floods in and put some diffusion in front, and there you got your
so it's
lights.
The beginning of your life as a camera person.
Yeah, so that would have been
is when
70.
you encounter Haskell. I feel like all of that is in this film, in these 26 minutes. I am so blown away that you had the courage as makers to distill a lifetime of knowing someone as cantankerous and powerful as Haskell Wexler, and the love. I mean, the moment that got me was when I don't know if you all experienced it, but Joan, you had literally said the same thing when we were up here on stage about the not the being in the circle part, that when he's filming, the performance, the singing, and then afterwards when he's talking about the inexpressible thing that you're trying to experience with a human, that whole moment is what we were talking about on stage. And what what makes Haskell's work so insanely great is what he's doing with other humans, and you captured that so beautifully in this film. Am I right, people? This film's gorgeous film. And it's cinema. Fuck Haskell, man. That is some cinema up there. I love opposition. There's so much opposition in him, like, but also opposition in service of politics, in service of, the fight for what can be. And, I see it in you, like you're fighting for, with this kind of passion, what you believe in. And it's just really remarkable to see it like held with so much love.
It's interesting that, Haskell was definitely a fighter and a warrior, politically, artistically, and, the arguments that we would have all the time. But at the same time, he was full of joy. There was never any hard feelings because of a disagreement, and it was just move forward. And it's like the scene with Sales and Maggie Renzi is kind of indicative in that when, he says to them, whatever they want, the answer is yes. And then when Joan interrupts Haskell and 2 or 3 times, his final word is yes, and then he starts talking. And he was a yes kind of person. It was yes, now let's go forward. And he never negated. He was always yes.
His extraordinary passion may only be matched by both of your extraordinary passion.
We should hope.
Yeah, we should all hope. But I'm blown away by this movie, whether it was out of sync or a little too dark. It's so great that you're like being like Haskell, like with it's a lot of emotion in this movie. So we're all gonna pay attention to what are we actually doing here. But we're doing it, right?
And one of the things about Haskell that doesn't, in fact, this was a criticism that Rita, his widow, had, that, we didn't get his generosity. He was so amazing to other people. People that he sent through law school. He had a big fight with one of the guys in the union about politics. And then this guy became a Marine and went into Iraq, or was it Afghanistan?
Fairburn.
And was there, and Haskell wished him well and said, learn, he was going in as a cameraman, learn
This
everything.
guy was savaging Haskell all the time.
Yeah, to go in and learn as much as you can, So the guy was there for 3 years, came back, lost his benefits, from the union because he hadn't worked for 3 years. His wife is pregnant. Haskell pays for this guy's wife to have a baby, and then this guy became his supporter, in the union. But I could never get him to talk about it because he didn't want to be seen.
I had a couple of experiences working with Haskell, shooting on sets, on movie sets, where we would come in and he would want to shoot some behind-the-scenes stuff for a film that he was doing. And both times, they would stop shooting. The AD would make the announcement, Haskell's on the set. And people would line up to thank him for getting them started in their careers.
And for working for safety on the set and conditions in which people could not get killed on sets while making films. Believe it or not, they did this to me, which means we have 5 minutes.
How can you see that?
Someone came. The seers see. We could go on and questions, responses. anyone want to desperately say something with these 5 minutes we have? I will run into the audience. Chris, do you have anything?
Just I'd love Joan and Alan to tell some more stories.
Okay.
We have a plan, which I'm not sure we will see through. But
You're rather persistent, the two of you.
Now that I'm retired, I have nothing better to do.
okay, we have hours and hours and hours of stuff with Haskell that are scenes that don't necessarily make a film. And what we'd like to do is find a venue where this film could serve as an introduction. And then you could choose which of these chapters you'd want to watch. And it would be shorter than a documentary and a lot longer, depending on what you chose to watch. I don't know if we'll pull it off or not, but that's what we'd like to do with this material.
You want to keep working with the material. You
Yeah.
want. There's so much more that you want to say about him and that you want to share. We'll take it. I'm so struck by how many times I want to watch this movie. I feel like I could just like watch it on a loop for a really long time, because it's a provocation. You know, it's a provocation to all of us in the now. It's very powerful to see Jane and him with all of the sort of apparatus around how difficult it is to be in that world, and then to see them both just go for it on stage, of like what matters in this moment right now with all of us in this room. And I feel like you've offered us a provocation, you know. And I just was at Diane Wireman's memorial this afternoon, and her death was sort of offering everyone in the room a provocation of like, all right, what are we gonna do, people? What are we gonna make? And I'm very excited that what you're making is more provocation, and that you're wrestling with the life and spirit of Haskell, but that you're also expressing your own big spirits. All right, she's giving me the wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up. Okay, we'll all find each other outside. Can everyone give just like a huge lot of love for these extraordinary human beings? Woo!
And to KJ.
Love to all, as Haskell would say.
By the way, I just want to say Haskell's last words, literally.
Say it again.
Haskell's last words were exercise. I was right.
Oh, all right. As I said, what are we going to do when we leave this room?